Today I'm going to show you 2 simple ways that I've made an edge jointing jig in the past and my newest upgrade. In my last video, I showed you how I get boards flat and square in my small shop without the use of a jointer. If you didn't happen to have a chance to watch that video, you can go ahead and catch up to that right here. I'll put the card up there. I'll also link it in the description below. In that video, I used an edge jointing sled, and I said that I was planning on upgrading it. Well, today I'm not only doing that, but I'm going to show you 3 ways to get going easily for your own edge jointing sled. So let's get started with the most accessible and cheap version of the sled. First, grab some plywood with a straight factory edge and cut it down to whatever size you prefer, being careful to keep that factory edge intact. I recommend marking it. Apply some blue masking tape to the board and bottom of the board that you want to edge joint. Next, apply CA glue to the base of the board and spray some accelerator on the tape you applied to the sled. Line up the board, leaving some of the edge hanging over, and press down for 5 or 10 seconds. Now set your blade height and your fence to take just the edge of the board and run it through. The weakness of this approach is if you're doing more than 1 or 2 boards in a day, the time that it takes you to apply that glue tape to both surfaces and to put the CA glue down and then afterwards peel it all up and do it over again, it gets exhausting after a while and is frankly frustrating. So there's another inexpensive option that can definitely save you some time. For this one here, I picked up a 4-pack of these toggle clamps off of Amazon. I think I paid $18 Canadian or something like that. Really, I only needed 2, or you could use 3 if you want to be able to do some smaller pieces too. That's actually probably what I should have done and what I would modify it to be if I were sticking with this method. Cut yourself a piece of plywood like you did in option 1. Now cut another board. A piece of plywood or hardwood will work, and screw it into your sled. Space out your toggle clamps and screw them into the riser piece you've created. Now you can simply adjust the height of the toggles and quickly clamp and unclamp boards to the sled. This is the method I've been using for about 8 months now, and it's been working really well. But I just wanted to try something a little bit different and something a little bit more adjustable, which is where the next method comes in. The microjig Matchfit system is a lot like using T-track in a project, except with dovetails and no T-track. But anyways, basically what we're going to do is we're going to route a bunch of dovetail grooves into my jointer sled so that we can take some dovetail clamps that match the fit of that groove and be able to use them wherever we want on the board to clamp things down no matter what their thickness is. Okay, so here what I'm going to do is I'm going to change out the router bit that I've currently got installed in my router table, and I'm going to replace it with this Matchfit router bit. So while I do that, one thing, there is a mark here for the depth that you're supposed to put this into the collar. And now I take my little gauge here, and you'll see that they've got something right here to help to figure out the height. So I will drop this down until I get that height just right. Hey, if you're enjoying what you're seeing so far, can you really help me out by clicking that like button? And if you'd like to see more of this, pressing subscribe? Thanks. So a quick thing that I wanted to point out, we tore out on the non-fence side. This is the side where we came out of. And that's really not a big deal. I'm not concerned about that. In fact, I could leave it on this side. It really doesn't matter. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to take it one step further, and I'm actually going to clean it up by cutting off that little bit there. So here it is now. This is, it doesn't look like much, but I think that this is actually an improvement over what was possibly a more interesting looking jointer sled. And so what I'm going to do now is let's put a board on here. Let's play around with the clamping system a little bit, and then I'll run it through the table saw and we can call this thing done. Put the board down wherever we want. You can see here I could do 3 if I had them, or I can do 2. However I think that it's best, I'm going to put it just like this with just a little bit hanging over the edge. I'll take one of these, slide it in, slide it down, and fasten it in. And I'll try to get this as square as possible and slide that one in. And again, put that one into place. That thing's not going anywhere. Let's take a look at how it goes on the table saw. So hey, tell me, what do you think? What would you do differently? Let me know in the comments. And be sure to tell me what you'd like to see me do next in my little 9.5 by 9.5 foot shop.